When I was 10 years old, I was really self-conscious about my eyebrows. Correction, eyebrow. There is only one of them. Since I wasn't allowed to get them done, I got creative. I would sneak into my dad's medicine cabinet and use his razor to shave off whatever I could. I looked absolutely ridiculous. At the next Eid party, one of my aunties teasingly pointed out my shaven off face in front of my mom. Naz, isko dekho, what happened to her eyebrows? In a split second, my mom gave me what I called the death glare before flashing her big smile and saying, "Oh, she's so stupid." The moment passed for everyone else, but I knew I had it coming. The rest of the party, I could barely eat, or speak, or see. On the way home, Mama was on a verbal rampage. "What is wrong with you? Are you that pathetic? Are you trying to make me look bad in front of everyone? Shut up! Don't lie to me. You did this on purpose to embarrass me. Stop crying! You're not getting anyone's pity. I knew you were hiding something before we left." Events like this were not as rare as you think. The thing was, I had been shaving off my eyebrows for months. She just never noticed. This is my day-to-day. By the time I was a teenager, our routine had only gotten worse. My mother would yell, punish, and hit me at any opportunity. The only upside to my mother's rages was that she wouldn't speak to me for a few days, sometimes weeks afterwards. Even though that was cruel, the silence was calming. It made me furious that in front of everyone else, my mom was this perfect woman. Our dynamic went undetected by even those closest to us. My dad was always at work, and my brother and sister, they had a different version of my mom, and they were told, "Stay away from her." Before I even had a chance, our mom had labeled me the bad kid. Living unloved and isolated from the rest of the world left me miserable. I wasn't receiving what I understood as my human rights. I was so lonely. I used to cry myself to sleep every single night. I would break apart my bangles and use them to cut my legs and my arms and my face. I would take hot showers just so I could feel something. And I learned that feeling hungry would distract me from feeling so sad, so I stopped eating. My escape were my journals. I would write all the time about school and crushes and the fabulous life I wished I could have had. I also wrote about how much I hated being me. Why wasn't I lovable? And what did I do to deserve this? I wrote, if things don't get better, I'd rather be dead. I wrote about stealing pills and saving them for my 16th birthday. And then when my sweet 16 came around, I wrote goodbye. And I swallowed the bottle of pills. When I woke up in the hospital the next morning and I saw my mother's face, she didn't say anything to me. In fact, for the next few years, she had stopped speaking to me completely, let alone looking at me. So maybe my mom was too young when she had me. Maybe she was overwhelmed with being an immigrant bride. Maybe she was suffering from mental illness. But please don't tell me. Of course she loves you. Give her a break. She did the best she could. I wasn't allowed to have feelings, make mistakes, or grow because my mom wasn't capable of being there for me. And there's a powerful taboo against speaking poorly about your mother. Even in Disney movies, it's always the evil stepmother. Mothers are supposed to be this unconditional force of nurturing, protection, and kindness. The reality is that mothers are human beings and not always capable. There's this horrible occurrence in nature where mama bears and mama cats and mama gerbils have been seen eating their own babies. When I learned this, it brought me a surprising sense of relief because I understand how those baby bears felt. After my suicide attempt, I began questioning the idea that if mama didn't love me, then that had to mean there's something wrong with me. She couldn't stop hurting me, and it wasn't my fault. So I decided to move out. Instead of homework, I calculated how much money I'd need to live on my own. I would cut class to go apartment hunting. My friends supported me, but they didn't really believe I'd be able to do it. I was still in high school when I signed my first lease, and one day I went to school like I did every morning, except this time I didn't come home. That time in high school was the most peaceful time in my entire life. Yeah, I was stuck working 2 jobs, but I got to go to prom. And I was happy. But I didn't realize that moving out meant my grandmother would never call me again on my birthday, or that my brother and sister would never speak to me again, or that I wouldn't be invited to my favorite cousin's wedding. I still wanted my mother's acceptance more than anything else in the world. A part of me believed that after I got older, we would get closer. The truth is, my mom cared more about me moving out than the fact that I tried to kill myself. Moving out before I was supposed to shattered the illusion that she spent her life hiding behind, that everything is as it should be. And she never forgave me. At the time, my mom was still ignoring me, but I went home often with hopes that I could prove to her I was worth her attention. I was offering to wash the dishes when suddenly my mom broke her silence to curse at me, something I'd never heard her do before. Fuck you! You're not my daughter! You're just someone I gave birth to, biological, nothing else. Shut the fuck up, Shanzey! I walked out. Like I wish I could have done my entire childhood. I don't have to do this anymore. A heartbreaking part was I wanted to engage. How did we get here? I was a teenager and my mom was a grown woman. Even if she is sick, she should have known better. Realizing my mom as who she actually is instead of who I needed her to be has been the hardest part of growing up. So, Mama had 2 rules. Don't trust anyone and keep family secrets. Writing my story has been so hard for me because in many ways I'm used to keeping those secrets. Now I operate under a different code. I trust myself and my intuition, and without the kindness of strangers, I would have never known love. Tonight, with you, is the first time I've ever talked about any of this out loud, in public, on stage. I'm here, and I'm not hiding in my journals anymore. And this is just the start of me telling all the secrets that I've kept.